Okay, first YouTube video ever responding to Scotty's request about why God would allow Satan to return. So as I listened to the video and some other responses, I couldn't help but immediately think about some of the scripture that talks about how God does something not for Israel's sake or his people's sake, but for his own name's sake. Just a couple of references to that. Let's see here. Psalms 143:11. Quicken me, O Lord, for thy name's sake, for thy righteousness' sake, bring my soul out of trouble. So of course there's a great servant of God, and not asking for his own self, but just to give God the glory. For another one, let's see, Ezekiel 20, chapter 20, verse 9. But I wrought for my name's sake, that it should not be polluted before the heathen, among whom they were, in whose sight I made myself known, in bringing them forth out of the land of Egypt. So of course, for his name's sake again. Same chapter, Ezekiel 20, verse 22. Nevertheless, I withdrew my hand and wrought for my name's sake, that it should not be polluted in the sight of the heathen, in whose sight I brought them forth. So I really believe that it boils down to for his name's sake. Just real quickly, I want to go to, let's see here. Excuse my slowness. Zechariah, yes. Okay. In the 14th chapter of Zechariah, it talks about the day of the Lord, which is usually known as the day of great wrath, the day that Christ returns. Anyways, I want to read a couple of verses that talks about, towards the end of the chapter, it talks about what it's going to be like in the millennial reign. And we know that his law will be established, and that includes the way he is worshipped, which includes, of course, the feast days. So I'm going to start in verse 16. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which come against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, and to keep the feasts of tabernacles. And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of all the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. And if the family of Egypt go not up, and come not, that have no rain, there shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the feasts of tabernacles. So there's already a plan given for those that are going to disobey God. We know that. The Bible tells us that. And so if they're already not going to be worshiping him the way that he asks to be worshipped, after the day of the Lord, the great tribulation, and the millennium starts, and there is that remnant left of the nations that came against Israel. If they choose not to celebrate the way he asks to be celebrated, they just won't get any rain. And so it makes sense that after 1,000 years, maybe this remnant is holding on to something that they know their dark lord will be released. For all I know, I don't know. We know that there's so many networks of satanic activity out there. The secret societies that have that secret Illuminati knowledge or whatever, and trying to make things come to pass. It would make sense to me that that same want for power, or hanging on to that secret knowledge. I don't see why that would be any different just because we're in the millennial reign. I would see them as looking forward to the day that their Lord rises, I guess, believing that he really won't be defeated, or I don't know, insanity. There was a video post, I can't remember his name, but he talked about him being the insane genius, and definitely fits. So anyways, that's my response. Thank you. Bye.